interesting joke I wanted to try to and make happen for the beginning of the podcast,
Okay.
but I forgot. It was a
Oh,
pun. It was a pun that you would have really appreciated, I think. And I'm not sure why this turning motion I'm doing with my hand is important,
I
but I
don't.
feel like this is something I need to be doing right now.
It's not.
I'll do it some more. Um, so Travis, how was your weekend? Lots of turkey, I presume.
Yeah, we pretty much ate the whole turkey in one day.
I did not. I still have some turkey left over, but I'll get to it. I'll get to
Yeah,
it.
we ate
How
all the
was your various
turkey.
desserts?
Huh?
I said, how was your various desserts? I know that's your favorite part of Thanksgiving.
Yeah. It took us 3 days to eat all the pies.
It took us 15 seconds to eat all of the turkey. It took us 3 days to eat the pies. You'll
It
never
was like
guess which one
a.
we had more of.
It was only like a 8 or 10 pound turkey. I mean, that was.
Yeah, it's a pretty little turkey.
Yeah, but there was only
I
four of
mean,
us, and
normally,
2 people don't have an appetite at our house. So I pretty much. I think I ate probably 4 or 5 pounds of turkey on Thanksgiving.
well, without getting into too many details, we typically get like around a 11-pound turkey, I think is what I try to shoot for 4 people. So, or for 5 people. So that's probably actually not that bad. It's hard to find a turkey that
Who else
small.
came over?
My mother-in-law came over. She typically comes
Oh,
over.
okay.
Sometimes she brings her husband who eats like half the turkey. So I have to be careful.
Right.
But this unfortunately is not a Thanksgiving podcast or a turkey eating podcast. This is a podcast, at least in theory, about Magic the Gathering. So
Hey,
this
you
is
want to
Two
see the
Trolls and a
Christmas
Brew.
present that Joe got me?
I do actually. Do you want to do that now? Or you want me to get through the rest of the introduction?
I'll do it now because I like interrupting you.
Go ahead.
Look, it's pepperoni socks.
Pepperoni socks. Man, and get is any good if it really socks.
I told you Joe was the best at bad presents. All right, continue with the introduction.
Trolls in a Brew, episode 60, GP Eve, subtitled Still Stuffed. Apparently stuffed with pepperoni socks. Travis, are we ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
When do you leave? You leave what? Thursday or
Uh,
Friday?
we are going to leave Friday morning at like 3 in the morning.
Ooh. Ugh.
So we'll be driving there on Friday. So we'll spend Friday day, Saturday, and Sunday there.
I am
Presuming we
glad
don't
I'm
all
not
scrub
going
out
to
on Saturday.
Right,
Uh,
right away, round 2.
right. But then, so we're going there Friday just to avoid all the stupid traffic. And I guess the dude that I'm going with, he's been on this route before. And he said leaving at 3 in the morning is about the easiest time because it gets us to different destinations without having to deal with morning rush hour or
Yeah, that's
lunch
a
rush
real
hour.
trick, actually. Yeah, one time we drove through Denver, and we really didn't take that into consideration, and we hit like almost the middle of Denver as lunch hour traffic hit, like boosh.
Yeah.
And it took us literally like an hour and 10 minutes to just get down that highway
Yep.
and out the other side of Denver. It was insane.
Yep.
So
See,
yeah, it's pretty difficult.
and you know, I noticed that with every big city that I've been to, if you plan your traveling time around rush hour, it'll take you, just like 10, 15 minutes to get through town, on the highway. But if you don't plan around rush hour, that 15-minute drive is going to be minimum hour and a half.
Be real bad. It can be. We
Yeah.
do actually know a bunch of people going, and we know a bunch of people live in Denver. So I think you're going to have a nice leg up on your trip here. Lots of food to be had, a lot of people to hang out with,
Yep.
etc. I know you already got Big Steve making plans, I think, to skip Friday Night Magic to hang out.
Hell yeah.
So it'll be a lot of fun. I guess I should do my same spiel I do for like every con. Lessa has like these rules of conning, right? Where like you take a shower every day, you eat one meal every day.
One meal?
You always be sure to get up and take at least one meal, because like at Gen Con in particular, people forget to eat. Bad about that. I suggest carrying around some sort of like good quality jerky that you can break into
So
uh,
the last
in
time,
case you need to fast.
the last time I
Hydrate.
was at a big event or whatever, and I do this often. Well, when I say often, I mean whenever I go to these like events or whatever that I know it's going to be a 7, 8 hour gaming day. I just put food in my backpack,
Right.
like just apples and like granola bars and just different healthy food.
Sure.
I say that
Again,
with the granola
that's
bar,
the
but
reason why I always do like beef jerky or turkey sticks, proteins, because for me, I get much longer lasting energy after than I do like an apple or a protein, some other kind of sugar. They might give you, because a lot of those protein bars and stuff like that are sugar.
right.
Um, Instead of getting a quick sugar rush and then die later, I'm better off with just having jerky. I'm gonna say nuts are also pretty good. Actual nuts, not peanuts.
See, and I need something that has iron in it, like some sort of food that has like a small amount of iron, and I just do that because I know personally if I don't have enough iron, then I get headaches.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the men's once a day vitamin, so I always recommend you take a vitamin, a
Oh no, I don't like
multivitamin.
I don't like taking pills.
I don't like taking pills either, but multivitamins are hard to get everything you need, um, especially when you're traveling. So I always carry multivitamins with me when I travel. But why this is an important part of the GP process, and I think for cons and stuff like that in general, this is not necessarily what people are here for. People are here to hear about our troll cards of the week. So you have a couple of interesting cards listed here. You have turtles and crabs as your note for troll cards of the week. You often have gone to turtles.
Oh, dude,
What's
yeah.
turtles and crab?
Okay, so the turtles is the blue the blue dude is a 0/3. He comes in with 2 energy. You can pay 2 energy to put a 1/1 counter on him when he attacks.
The
All right.
thriving turtle.
Yeah, the thriving turtle. That's the turtles. The crab is the the hermit, the 5-drop 4/4. It's a defender that comes in with 4 energy.
Okay.
Yeah, I
The one that if you have 4 energy or something.
yeah, like you pay 2 and it loses defender. So I drafted 2 of each of those on Monday, and they actually got there really well for me because I drafted those decoction module and dynavolt towers. Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Uh, so if I didn't win like really quick with the turtles and the crabs, which I also had other things that gave me energy, but if I didn't win really quick with the turtles and the crabs, then there was a few games where I had the Dynavolt Tower and the Decoction Module, and I had enough mana to bounce my crab and then play him again, and then get that 5 energy from that.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting energy tricks. I think there's a lot of creatures that come into play where if there isn't some sort of like really good like green, blue, bouncing, um, energy making thing going
Hmm.
on that might be worth considering. it'd probably never be top tier, but it could be something that could just be, like for funsies or whatever.
Right.
Where stuff like the turtles, let's see, what else would you put in there? The is it the long tooth club or something like that? You'd probably put in
Well, see, and honestly, I'm thinking just mono
the
blue.
mana dude. Yeah, I don't. I think my version is probably green blue for a couple of reasons. For me, the big payoff would be the guy who like you pay a bunch of energy and you get like the big 6/6.
Right.
If you can just like feed it all these cheap creatures, you can just like
See,
um
but here's the other thing. The blue dude, you got the 6/6 flying Leviathan, where you pay like 7 energy and bounce the entire board other than him, or you bounce all other creatures. And then,
as a sorcery.
like, he costs 7 mana, so you're going to be playing him late game. So you could even drop your creatures back down after that, and then you got your whole little army back while they got nothing.
Yeah, and there's no reason you probably couldn't get away with paying like one of that guy. But then, like I said, you have this way you have numerous payoffs for your energy. You can like two of that guy, two of the other guy. That also lets I think whenever you play a land, you get an energy too. And of course, you also get like Dynavolt towers for lightning bolts and stuff like that. And then you get to run all sorts of like sense and sorcery spells, like select for inspections. I don't know, like would you run any other kind of bounce really, or
Hmm.
would you just play things like I was talking to you earlier today about um, sorry, the green instant that you investigate, and then you get a 1/1 counter for each thing that you investigate with. This might
Right.
also be that same deck um, that can afford to run the thing that says when a creature. I think you get a clue, and then when you sacrifice a clue, make a 1/1. Like you might be able to do something in there with that as well. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It sounds good to me. Like in my brain holes, it seems like it, but uh, as we'll get to later, I've been slapping together a deck together, and I is in my head. Uh, but yeah, I think that would be. I keep trying to draft that deck, and I just can't get there. Maybe Dynavolt Tower was the card that I've been missing in that kind of deck for me. 1/3 when you try to draft this kind of thing. The one that gives you scry and gives you 3 energy.
Oh, yeah, that dude is. I love that dude.
Yeah, see, I like that guy a lot too, but again, I just can't seem to get sort of hurdle for me in blue decks that I can't seem to get across that use all these energy.
Right.
Stall forever, but I don't have a good way to win, or like I don't get the middle piece that I need to like keep me from just dying.
Well, see, and I
I'm
think
I'm missing something.
um, just from what I've played, blue is the absolute worst color in Kaladesh Limited, unless you get the bombs. Like the synergy isn't that great. The early game stuff is mediocre at best, and then the control spells are kind of like eh. But then there's the late game where if you don't have a bomb, the cards are just also garbage. Uh, every other color you can get, just you can get even commons that are better than some good blue cards. Like I don't want to say they dropped the ball with blue, but it's definitely lacking, at least in the limited environment.
Yeah, I almost wonder if they went for the synergy.
Right.
They had to move some of it to the next block. So I have the feeling it's going to be one of those things that weak now, but it's going to be really, really strong the next set comes out in the draft.
Yep.
And maybe it was almost too overpowered to have some of it here and some of it there. So I think maybe they've learned their lesson a little bit from effects like Devotion, where it was so front loaded that they took the energy stuff and they broke it in half, specifically for the like Blue or something. So I mean, you
Right.
have all these amazing enablers, but not the payoffs that you're kind of looking for. Keen that we're probably going to get the payoffs in the next set. I don't know for sure.
All right. Yeah.
So you've already kind of brought it up. Let me dolt a little bit on Dynavolt Tower here. First of all, everyone knows that I've been working on this Mardu deck forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been running Obnixilis in there. And as I play it and I practice it and I work with it, I keep pulling out Obnixilises for more Dynavolt Towers. I am completely infatuated with this guy right now, this Dynavolt Tower. Every instant in sorcery having an upside of being some part of a lightning bolt. 1.5 lightning bolt, as a matter of fact. Or sorry, no, that's wrong. 3/4 of a lightning bolt is just. Is that even right? That's not right. A fifth, no, 2/5. 2/5 of a lightning bolt. Holy shit! Thank you, brain. Every card being 2/5 of a lightning bolt is like insane. In addition to its regular stuff, so like when you have Dynavolt Towers, all of a sudden the do 2 damage shock spells, things like Tormented Voice just become insane. Like pitch this thing you can't cast yet, get some energy, probably get ready to lightning bolt something's face and make your land drop, and then be ready to kill the next thing that they play. I'm just loving this card right now, and I have the feeling I'm going to be building a lot of different decks around this guy in particular. And I'm not sure if I want to do something like when you listed turtles and crabs here, I went instantly to all the one drops and that make energies when they come into play.
Mm-hmm.
All of the what's the one that the artifact when a creature enters play, you get an energy?
Decoction module.
Decoction module. I knew it was one of those modules. I think that's the 1-mana one, right?
2.
So that guy, Dynavolt Tower, all these 1-mana blue things, all these sweet card selection spells and bounce effects, and then Tower to just kind of like close the game out, like the slowest, grindiest control deck ever. When your win condition is like, I'm going to cast so many spells that I'm going to lightning bolt you to death. Sounds like so much fun to me.
Right.
And the only thing better than having 1 Dynavolt Tower is having 2.
No, having 4.
I mean, I'm not that greedy to expect to ever get 4, but I would
I
take
am
it.
that greedy. I am that greedy. Every time I cast a select for inspection, I also expect to lightning bolt you.
What if this deck runs? Holy shit! What's the blue enchantment? The 5-mana one that makes a dude.
Metallurgic summoning.
Metallurgic summoning. Okay, so it runs Dynavolt Towers. It runs the. Is there something that animates an artifact right now?
Not that I know of, but there is Mindstillation.
Mindstillation.
Yeah, it's a 7-mana enchantment that says whenever an opponent casts their first spell for turn, you exile the top card of their library. If it's a non-land spell, you can cast it without paying its mana cost.
Okay, that seems like a lot of work.
Oh well.
Perhaps interesting. Hang on. I'm almost finished. There's Sadit. Is it the red blue planeswalker has a 6-mana spell? I think. Like you get a copy of creature and you get a copy an artifact. How great would it be to copy a Dynavolt tower,
Hmm.
make another Dynavolt tower with this massive spell that you also get a Metallurgic summons?
Right.
Oh man, Magic Christmas land everywhere. Well, let's boil back to the GP and your preparations. Have you gotten any actual testing done this week, or are you just continuing to screw off?
Yes. I have done
You're
testing,
screwing
but
off
I
by doing actual testing.
yeah, because if there's anything that I do efficiently, it's not what I'm supposed to. Um, but I have played, and I've played against uh, two of my weaker matches, which is the blue-white aggro and the red-black aggro. And the red-black aggro, I have about a 60% win rate, and my only real losses are when I got flooded or I just didn't draw enough removal. Uh, the blue-white is just so difficult to get around selfless spirits. Selfless spirits and spell queller are really big issues for my deck. And
I know it's scary though. I played that. I built the blue white flash, so another player here could practice against it.
yeah.
And he made some changes to the newest, greatest version of it. And I sat down, shuffled up for the Kaladesh showdown this last week,
Hmm.
and I basically went 1-3. I just could not get the thing to fire worth a crap at all.
Right.
Reasonable hands with like interaction, removal spells, cheap creatures, and just over and over and over again.
Right.
I don't know what I'm misunderstanding this deck. I don't like it. I don't know why people are playing it. But apparently it beats up the two other big decks. And then the two other big decks beat it in another deck, and so on and so forth. And apparently there's this massive paper, rock, scissors that's going on right now.
Yep.
With the blue white flash, the Marvels deck, and the great blue green Delirium deck, I think, is the other one. Vehicles kind of works its way in there too. The red white vehicles, but I'm not real sure where it is.
See, and
And
I haven't seen anyone play that here, so I just kind of threw it off the radar.
utterly destroyed me with this flash deck
Okay.
on over the weekend. I kept a hand that a good hand, a fine hand, but it just could not deal with 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop. I mean, I dealt with it okay, but in those matches in particular, I had to draw some things and kind of get lucky. Like I was trying to rely on Gideon to make some stuff happen, and I just couldn't make it happen. Which apparently is the best card in the matchup. It's try to rely on Gideon to make things
Yeah.
things
So,
do some work. But
all right. So I'm gonna interrupt you right now. Uh, Sean, he is
go
watching
ahead.
us right now, and he sent me a message on Facebook. He said that Black Green Delirium, Blue White Flash, Jeskai Control, and apparently, yeah, the Red Green Aetherworks, Marvel Aetherworks, are the four big decks going to Denver right now.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. Uh,
And
I
the
feel like there's a lot of good tier just under that are going to slip through the radar and hit
yeah,
people hard.
so the Fevered Vision decks, I was playing, and the Blue White Flash and the Red Black Aggro are my two weakest matchups. Um, the easiest wins for me are the Dirtle decks, like the Control decks and uh, Green Black Delirium. Those are the easiest matchups for me.
I don't know about everybody else, but for me, right there when you went to say the deck names, you you were dead silent. So could just repeat that one more time for me. And if everyone else heard it, I apologize. I'll try to fix it in editing.
Okay, so the two easiest or the easiest decks for me to play against are the Black Green Delirium and the Control decks. It's just I don't know what
Just
it is, but Dirtle decks I just have a bad matchup against me because, well,
you're
if I
fast.
don't do anything, they don't do anything, and then they take damage from fevered visions. It's like a win-win for me.
Right. What's your other good one? You said the blue white or the blue control, blue white
Yeah, like the
control, Jeskai
Jeskai
control.
control.
I like the Jeskai control deck a lot. I don't know if it would be something I would sit around and play. Like I said, I really like the Mardu deck right now, mostly because it gives you access to two of the man lands, and I think the man lands in this format are key
But see, so
to
does
winning
the
the late
Jeskai
games.
deck.
Yeah, but my man lands are better than the Jeskai deck. Okay,
Um,
we share one, but
yeah, I was like,
their 1/4 is not as good as my 2/3 life linker.
right, because even if they switch it around, they still trade. And the
Right.
black and the 2/3 trades with the double strike, and then yeah, I think the Shambling Vince is probably the second
Yeah,
best man
it's
land.
still the best one right now. So,
No,
and then
the Lumbering Falls is a 3/3 with hexproof.
it is, but it's 4 mana to activate plus itself, which is okay because the double strike one is the same,
Right.
but the fact that the 2/3 activates for 3 mana plus itself means it can get started earlier and
Right.
be a much more effective thing for things like Grasp of Darkness and stuff like that. I
Yeah, I can
will
see that.
say, I think you want to have the ability to force some sacrifices, specifically, or ways to directly interact with Gideon. I believe Gideon right now is once again the strongest card in the format, and you have to be ready to answer that some bitch.
Yeah. Um, there's that spell that counters activated abilities or
Yes,
exile.
that 4 mana spell.
Yeah. That's pretty good against Gideon. They're like, boom, I tick up Gideon. I'm like, boom, got countered. Or I could just like burn him beforehand.
I guess that's true.
I know it is. I said it.
Um, you could also, I suppose, put it back in their hand with
Yeah,
the
with
2 mana bounce.
unsubstantiate.
Yeah, are you running unsubstantiates in your list?
Yeah, I'm running 3 in the sideboard because main deck it is mono red with 4 fevered visions.
Okay, sounds all right.
It is.
And you're still running the big Chandra and stuff too.
Yep, I'm running 4 Torch of Defiance and 2 Flame Callers.
Yeah, I don't know. For something I haven't tested, I think you're going to be okay. But of course, then again, you're just going to play at side events all weekend anyway. Once you
Right, once I
start
scrub
to
out.
scrub out.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna drop after 2 losses.
I mean, sure, why not? I mean, you might as well go 0-5 all day, right?
Yeah. Well, because what? It's like the GPs are what, like 15 rounds or
Yes.
something?
You're probably gonna. Yeah, I think you have like 9 rounds day one, and I think 6 and 3.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
if I if I go X and 4, or if I hit 4 before I hit 6, then I'll drop.
yeah, let's try cleaning up in the side events because I bet
Right.
you beat all of the other like decks. It's just a matter of whether or not you get paired up against your correct paper, rock, or scissors.
Right.
And again, this is where when I keep harping on that Mardu list because I think that Mardu list, Like I haven't found the matchup where the Marty list is bad yet. But I haven't got to play against the Marvel deck, which I believe is probably its weak matchup
Um.
because they
Okay.
don't have a
So
lot of good ways to interact with that.
yeah, yeah. But see, here's the thing with the Marvel, the Aetherworks Marvel. It gets shit on. Excuse my French. I sneezed, or whatever excuse you want to hear. Um. Lost Legacy just destroys that.
That's my hope is that by running four of those in the sideboard, that I don't have to worry about it. But I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to put them in yet. A lot of people from our shop are running legacies in the sideboard of their blackish decks, including the other Marvel decks or the other Delirium decks. And I think that's really key. One and knock out Timbercools or Ishkanas, whichever one they're closest to being able to cast. Really put in a rough spot to try to figure out how to get things going.
Right. And like
And
against
again, not to keep harping. Sorry, just real fast, not to keep harping on the Mardu list, but being able to play one and then turn around Dark Dwellers it back for the other one
right.
makes it a lot easier. It gives you 8 copies.
Right.
Sorry, please.
Well, I was gonna say Ishkana really isn't that big of a deal. Um, because once you lost Legacy, Emrakul, or um, Ulamog, depending on what version they're playing, it also cuts down on the Delirium count. So
That's
Ishkana,
true.
Ishkana requires you to have Delirium. Otherwise, she's just a 3/5 with reach that, hey, you can pay 7 mana to do a point of damage to them.
Right.
Uh, but either
Um,
way, Emrakul or Ulamog is going to be scarier than her, like
well,
way scarier.
I haven't run because they've pretty much all gone to uh, Ishkan. Four of Ishkana's, four of Emrakul.
Hmm.
But don't take my word for it. Obviously, pay attention as you start going through people's decks. Speaking of real fast, I was watching a little bit of Conley Wood's stream the other day, and first of all, as everybody knows, huge Conley Wood fan. Um, this is what he's playing right now. What he's planning on taking to the GP, and this looks a lot like what Nathan had sent us a couple of weeks ago, and something else I kind of talked about playing was like the colorless black with all the discard. Now, in my version, I would run the Lost Legacies in the main in a deck like this, where he is going more towards the um, kind of get there with the disruption plan. So 2 harsh scrutinies, 4 transgress the minds, um, seers, and 2 descended binds mine descended mind benders are like his discard package in the main deck. His legacy and stuff like that is in the sideboard. But I don't remember 100%. And then his win conditions are kind of varied. Like Stranglers, Matter Reshapers can get there, especially when you have the Ruins of Warren Reef to kind of power them up. Smugglers, Copters, Scroungers are very good. They come back later. Reality Smasher can get a lot of work done. And then this mono Sovereign Council flagship seems odd to me, but I saw him do a lot of work with it. Um, and then his removal package of the complete disregard, kind of doubling up on the Stranglers in that regard. A single Runus Path and 4 Bearers of Silence. Basically, this thing is always at 4 mana, sometimes 5 with Ruins of Warren Reef. But I really like this list a lot. I'm actually tempted to try putting it together for this weekend. If anyone's interested in this deck, of course you can jump over to Conley's stream and re-stream the first half or rewatch the first half. He was drinking pretty heavily, and in my opinion, I missed a lot of the middle, and I caught a bunch of the end. And at the end, it kind of turned into one of the reasons I don't drink and stream. if you get what I'm saying. Um, but I thought the gameplay was really well. This solo Pilgrim's Eye is also kind of appealing to me. I think I would put a solo Waste in here, and he does not have one.
Well, I don't think he really
But other
needs
than
one
that,
with.
I really like it.
I don't think he needs one with 12 colorless sources.
I think
Oh
so,
no, 13.
but yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I don't think you have to have it, but I've lived on that side of variance where I would draw all swamps in a Pilgrim's Eye and not be able to cast my butthole mana spells. So I'd rather err on the side of caution of having one fetchable colorless source with the Pilgrim's Eye.
Yeah.
But again, statistically, it's probably not going to happen. Aether Hubs, Corrupted Crossroads. I get there.
Uh,
Etc.
Crumbling Visage or Vistage, Runes of
Orin
Ore
Reef.
and Reef, and then the
I said I
Pilgrim's
really
Eye.
like this. I really like this deck. You can also get away with like waking up a smuggler's copter that you just played, even though it's sick, and then putting counters on it with an Orin's Reef. I think you
Yeah.
can get a lot of interesting play out of that. Keep that kind of stuff in mind, that you can do a lot of interesting tricks if you take some time and think about it. The only thing that I wish this deck had, but he does not have, is a slight blue splash for the thing that taps down for permanents.
Elder
I
Deep
think that would
Fiend.
be really useful in this deck. Elder Deep Fiend, thank you. As sideboard possibilities, because you have the Aether Hubs and the Corrupted Crossroads, and obviously the one vintage or needed to do it on your main phase. So I think with 8 sources, you could probably pull it off in the sideboard. But again, I can't tell you off the top of my head what was on his sideboard. But like I said, I'm really drawn to this list quite a bit, and going off the power of these handful of new cards, but still really pushing from the last block. Still, I expect this deck to do pretty well. Actually, seeing his tournament report when it's over and see if it gets there. I'm not sure, but I'm hopeful. What else about the GP do you want to talk about, Travis? Like, is there any other decks in particular that you are worried about or that you care about?
Nah.
Okay.
Nope. It's really just the aggro decks that I'm worried about, and probably uh, Steve's deck, which is mono blue control.
Well, to be fair, first of all, you are probably going to play the people you ride up with because that's how that works.
Right.
So if
There's.
you already have a good matchup against those guys, then you're fine.
Let's see. So I think there's going to be about. Oh, I think there's going to be about 16 of us writing down. So if there's 1,600 people, that gives me about a 40% chance of playing all of them.
That's pretty factual. I'm pretty sure your math is 100% right there.
Right.
All
Uh,
math all the time there.
don't check me on the statistics. Just know that it's probably going to happen.
I mean, that sounds 100% right to me.
Right.
Is that 16 people, including the guys from Salina?
How many people from Salina are going? Let's say how many people from Kansas are going that you know of?
Probably 12.
Okay, so
If you add up the Hutch guys,
right.
whatnot, I think there's around 12 that I know of for sure. And
Okay,
there's a few guys
so
from
that
Wichita I
that
don't know very well.
so that's going to bring it up to probably 30 people that I know.
Your area.
Right.
Okay.
Because let's see. I think I know 2, maybe 3 people in Colorado that are going. I know
Mm-hmm.
definitely one for sure. Because I'm staying at his house. And then let's see. There's going to be in the car that I'm going. There is 4 of us. Someone else is bringing a car of 5. and then there's going to be the judge who is bringing like I think 5 or 6 in his van, and then the people from North Dakota, and then if you say 12 from from Kansas, then that's probably going to be like 24 to 30 people that I know. So chances are I'll just play all of them.
Right, you'll just all the way up to the finals.
Right, right, because that's how things work.
So I wanted to bring this up because something that is completely slipping underneath everybody's radar is humans hasn't left. And this is a red white humans list that I think is primed for another really good weekend. It has all the key things in it that I think are the best cards in the format right now. Gideon, duh.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Smuggler's Copter,
Mm-hmm.
duh. Gamic Bombardment, however the frick frack you say that. The
Galvanic
2 mana shocks that
bombardment.
grows. That's why you make the big bucks.
Right.
And D Stone. So I mean, like it's got all the key cards in my opinion. The rest of this stuff is also really nice, like Thalia's Lieutenant. Everything's a. I think this deck is primed to do a lot of work this weekend. Just ballpark me in your head. If your gut says you are, then you are. And I
Uh,
think this was on Channel Fireball like 3 or 4 days ago. So
I
it's
think
right at the verge of
I
people
think
taking out
the
of consideration.
the main issue that I'll have with this deck is if they play Thalia's Lieutenant after they already have creatures on the board, and then I can't answer her. Other than that, I think this deck is maybe too slow for me
Maybe too slow for
because
you. This thing,
yeah, because their deck and stone is
Apprentice.
useless. Okay, so the deck and stone is useless. The
Okay.
bombardment's useless. Um, the
So they are
smuggler's
8 cards
copter.
down.
The smuggler's copter needs to be fired. You know, it needs to have something there. Gideon is easy to answer on my turn, or if they activate it, I can just kill him.
Okay.
Um, Thalia doesn't really bother me because I don't have. I think I have. Oh hell, what do I have? I think I have like 4 creatures total, and then the not basic lands are already coming into play tapped. Uh, the Handwear Garrison,
I was
Fiery
going to say,
Temper.
what happens if they garrison you?
Um, so if they go to activate it, I'll just kill it in response.
They just activate it again. Oh, it involves tapping.
Yeah. So I mean, now they're down 5 mana, a creature, and a land.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
what's the militia captain? Click on that one.
That's the one who makes the dude every turn. When you have 4 dudes, he flips over and
Oh yeah,
he
that's never gonna
is
flip.
equal to number of dudes. Okay. Ted, I think this deck is primed to come back. I have a lot of these cards, and this is another one of those decks that I'm considering putting together for the Kaladesh stuff. In particular, this Kaladesh stuff for me, because I don't travel very much. I hate it.
Hmm.
Um, to me, this is another one of those decks that looks like a lot of fun. Puts together all the cards that I want to see, and I haven't had a lot of chance to play with yet. And like, I think it again, it's primed to do some work. Like, as soon as somebody's not expecting it, it's going to come down and crush somebody. And these Blessed Alliance in the sideboard, beautiful,
I think the
beautiful.
Fragmentize would get me because Fevered Visions,
Yeah, it could probably do some stuff.
but I'm not too worried about that either.
Also, kind of worried about the Nahiri for you.
Uh,
Plus Fragmentize, they bring down Nahiri, so they have 4 ways to get rid of your Let me
So they
pull.
have a two
Let
drop.
me let me pull one over here. Fevered Visions. I don't know if you're planning on running those against this deck. Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Well, I don't know.
So
Against a deck like this, I think I would take out the fevered visions because they have a lot of small creatures. And then
yeah,
I
you
just
might just give it too much to fill up.
yeah, then I just try and get there with one of the Chandras.
All right. Well, there's one other deck here that I thought was really cool. This one I think came out today, or
Okay.
at least Eric Froelich talked about it today. And I think this is part of the reason why Melodic Summons is on my brain because deck today or something like this deck today.
What's submerged boneyard?
And that's just the dual land.
Oh, boring.
Yeah, it's a slow, always going to play tap one. This is exactly the kind of deck that again I think is primed the blue black control deck, filled with things like anticipate, Estus extractions. Again, against you, not great,
Right.
but against a lot of the field, pretty amazing. Glimmer of Genius, Grasp of Darkness, Singleton, Grip of Desolation.
I like
Again,
that.
I think huge right now. Part the Water Veils, Ruinous Pass, Summonses, and Murder. So it's just like 8, 9, 10, 11 removal spells, and of course, 3 Torrential Gear Hulks.
So 14
It's
removal
like,
spells.
yeah, it's just like mono, get things done.
Right.
Hey, wait for me to find one of my big ways to kill you, and which is going to happen pretty quick with 4 anticipates and 4 Glimmer of Geniuses. This thing is like you has to has them. So a lot of good stuff coming out this week over at Channel Fireball for prep.
Well,
It's almost as
you
if
know,
they're going to be there.
I like that blue black deck, that one you just showed.
I like
But
that.
with 11 removal spells, really, I just kind of sit there and wait.
Yeah, again, it's not good for you. It's not good against you.
Right.
But I think it's going to hit a lot of it's going to hit today too, and these are what you're going to see. You're going to see oddball shit like this that float to the top, and of course, you're going to have the pros playing the big three, kind of paper rock scissoring their way through. Because again, for us, those of us in the Midwest, this is like our big tournament. Not me because I don't travel, but I thought about it really hard all the way up until this last week, because Sean was just like, yeah, no. San Snow Drive. If I could teleport or fly there, it'd be a different story. But
You can fly. Airplanes exist.
I know, but
There's actually a really
I
nice airport in Denver.
there is, but it's Class B airspace, and I don't fly Class B airspace. That's scary shit.
I don't know what that means.
It means there's a lot of extra rules that you have to follow when you fly there. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a pilot in my spare time. So when I mean I fly there, I mean I'm going to rent a plane and I'm going to fly there.
Oh, yeah, because you do have a license.
License, yeah.
I forget about that because we never fly anywhere.
Because it's expensive. Plane. Would you please win the GP and buy me a plane so we can fly places?
All right, fine.
Thank you.
Uh,
Just one time.
so Sean and I are planning on going to the finals and just getting really baked before we play.
I thought, is this going to mess up your soberness?
I'm not gonna drink. I think
Okay.
like honestly, for me, weed isn't a big deal. It's just anything stronger than that.
Okay, well, this is where we take a sudden urge, and now we get into substance abuse conversations. So for a lot of people out there, any mind altering thing is taking them off the wheels, gets them going again. I don't want you to risk that, buddy. I want you to stay clear headed and open hearted. Look at me.
Hmm?
You've
No,
got
I'm reading all of Sean's messages right now.
okay. You have too many days of soberness
Right.
to
Well, I
hit a
mean, see,
slippery slope.
and like, so for me, I haven't used any non-alcoholic substances. Like, so my sober paths are different right now. So from alcohol, I've been clean for actually like the end of December will be 3 years.
Say we're getting
But
close to another anniversary.
yeah, but then for
Caffeine
non,
you have regularly, I'm sure.
oh yeah, I got a Pepsi right here. Uh, and I have sugar too because that stuff's good. Um, but no, there's a okay. So from alcohol, it's 3 years. From non-alcohol, it's 5 years. No, 2011. Yeah, 5 years. And
That's
then,
good.
but I mean, if we're going off of legality, marijuana's medicine, so
No. Oh, technically there, yes. Do you have a prescription?
you don't need a prescription there. It's legal there.
But there, when you're taking it as non-prescription, it's not medicine.
It doesn't matter. I can still use it for medicinal purposes.
That's
I'll use
true.
it for
That's
medicinal
true.
purposes as much as I use regular pills for medicinal purposes, which is never.
That's right. Keep it clean. Clear headedness. Like think about the gamer fog that's already going to be in there. That meta is going to be completely on a different level, probably. You're going to
I
have
doubt it.
all these straights who show up to Colorado. Oh, we can get high here, and like, whew, you know what I mean? Like there should be so many people like
Right. Eh,
trying to be funny. I hope so. Anyway, I want to hear from you. Like, unfortunately, I got a crazy contact high just walking in there,
nah, it won't be that
and
bad.
nobody can play Magic. Whole room to be nothing but smoke and people eating, and like games going to every round, every match goes to time because they forget why they're there.
Just like watching someone else. Oh yeah, no, I'm playing a game too.
Oh that's what I want. That's what I want on the coverage. I want the guys on coverage to have that amazing contact time and be like,
Well,
where are
unfortunately, it's
we?
going to be a GP, so you're not going to have that good of I don't know.
Well, is it Channel Fireball's hosting, right?
Are they hosting?
I don't know, actually.
I don't know. I don't pay attention. You should know by now. I just kind of show up to things and
Yeah, you're
hope for the best.
no, it doesn't look like it. Does not look like it.
If it's
Hey,
if
go
it's
ahead.
Star City Games that's hosting, then you might have a chance of being entertained on the stream. If it's not Star City, then there's gonna be nothing entertaining.
So it's kind of like this podcast.
Right.
Okay, excellent.
There
So
won't be
speaking of
any
not,
smoking allowed at the event. Just edibles.
that's true. That's true. That's true. But we'll see how often that works.
Right.
So here's another thing that by this week, and this is a lot from. It's been bouncing around in my brain since you kind of told me or challenged me to try to draft this deck in Kaladesh draft. And I kind of was wondering, could I figure out a way to make this work? Obviously, these lands are not planes. I haven't figured out the mana base yet. But I really like where this deck is going.
Take out the Smuggler's Copter.
I don't know if it's right. I think I like the Smuggler's Copter in this deck because I think once you get the going, you just need to keep the card filtration running. Like you really want to find a Reckless Fire Reaver and or a Panharmonicon.
See, and that's why I was running I was running at Mardu because the metal workers, the black one, whatever it's called, the black puzzle knot gets you
Mm-hmm.
draw, and then the the mana fix gets you draw also.
So let's do a little bit of working here. One, Travis and I were talking about this before we started recording, and he was describing the fact that he had a Mardu list that was kind of similar here, where instead of a little bit less aggro approach, he has a little bit more card filtration with things like the Black Puzzle Knot and a couple other spells.
So I'm
Oh
gonna
no,
grab.
really want to. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just filtering my deck right now so I can
Okay,
go through it with you.
sounds good. So I really want to have a Panharmonicon out at some point with the Reckless Fireweaver. Have played a Clogworker's Puzzle Knot to make a couple of dudes, firing off a couple of Reckless Fireweaver charges, and slap down a Reckless Bushwalker. So like the turns would probably be something like Courier on 1 or Apprentice on 1, whatever. Something boring. Reckless Fireweaver on 2. Or, I don't know, it could be something else on 2. Who knows? Maybe Servo Expedition on 2. Um, or Reckless Fireweaver on 2, followed up by play a Panharmonicon on 4, and then slap down like a Clogworker's Puzzle Knot and a Reckless Bushwhacker on 4, and like murder your opponent. Like in Magical Christmas Land, I don't know. It's probably not good. It's probably
All right.
really bad.
So here is my current list. So I got the
This kind
right,
of deck.
right. So
Okay.
I got the four Reckless Fireweavers,
Okay.
uh, four Cogworkers Puzzle Knot,
Okay.
four Metal Spinners Puzzle Knot. That's the black one.
Okay.
Four prosthetic prisms. So that's eight draw
And
spells
draw a
right
card.
there. Four Panharmonicons, obviously. Two Fire Forgers Puzzle Knot. Four Filigree Familiars, because that's just stabilizing. Two Pilgrim's Eyes. Two Pias instead of three.
Mm-hmm.
Um, two Noxious Gear Hulks. Two Combustible Gear Hulks. And two Marionette Masters.
Yeah. See, I don't want any that long. I want to be able to slap down this Reckless Bushwhacker with 6 dudes on the field and go you with 6 extra +2/+2 guys. What are you going to do about it?
Well, see, but here's the thing. If you put black in there, then you get to run Shambling Vents, which I have two of those, and two Needle Spires, so...
I do. You do having those spells in there.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I don't know. Like I said, I think I want to experiment with this kind of deck and see how it goes. I've been really impressed with the Panharmonica lists, and to the point where now that I've decided I want them, I can't find them. Isn't that always how it works? So irritating.
Uh,
Do you have extra Panharmonicons?
I have... I know I opened one for my prizes this week.
We did
Do I?
too.
Huh?
Remington opened one for our prizes this week also.
Yep. I just have
I
the
had to
one
play
extra.
modern this week. Well, give it to Sean, and Sean can bring it and give it to me.
All right.
Yeah, it's cool. Let's see. We have a couple of the things here that we kind of wanted to talk about, but I think unless you're picking up gold in the dollar box is real, go ahead and move on and wrap things up here.
Uh, it actually is kind of fun. I enjoyed it.
What did you find? What did you find in the common box or whatever?
Well, it wasn't the common box. It's just the dollar rares. You know, the bulk rares and everything.
Okay.
So one of the stores here in town, they he just has basically like Todd's selection of extra rares, like that volume.
Sure.
And basically, if they aren't labeled, like he puts them in the dollar sleeves and then writes the price on them. If they're not labeled, then they're $1, and that's how he values it. So I ended up finding 3 mind rack demons and 4 collective brutalities that weren't listed. So I bought them for like $7 total, and each collective brutality is sitting at $6 a piece on average.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much
Pretty good.
gold to me. I mean, it's like clearly it's
Flip.
it's yeah, it's a flip.
Like you take those and you go to a different store and you cash it in for your draft or whatever, and you basically had like a $5 or $7 draft or whatever, or
Right,
two
but
$7 drafts.
yeah, but mainly it's more just a flip. It's like a $24 profit for trade value anyways.
That's good. Like that's how you grind a lot of that stuff out. I don't do as nearly enough of it as I should, but I don't know. I have one other topic I didn't stick in the show notes that I think has been coming more lately. To throw this out here, so we are an entertainment podcast, and I don't know about you, but I try to listen to other entertainment podcasts, like about magic and about um, other things that are not like necessarily. Um, and then when those podcasts do segments where they go political nature because they feel compelled, they have an audience, they have a place to share their beliefs on, to put this out there in the universe and do whatever, like they did whatever they could one way or the other. Like when the election, you and I talked a lot about how there was a third choice and people should go out there and do their own research instead of just voting for Trump or Hillary. Unless you really wanted to vote for those two people, there were other options out there if you went and looked.
I have a side note
So
on that.
So right now, a couple of other podcasts did the same thing. They went out there and did their spiel for their candidate without getting into it in particular, which candidate they were doing their humping for. A lot of people are having that pushback on, hey, just keep your politics out of it. That's not what we're coming to your podcast. That's not what we're here for. And I get some of that too from people when we talk about things that are not magic related. When they go, hey, I'm here to watch or here to listen to your magic content, or I'm here to listen to you make jokes about magic content or about yourselves or whatever. And I just say to those people the same thing I'm going to say when people shit on other people's podcasts. Like, hey, bro, this is what we're here for. We're making things entertainment. And let them say what they want to say. Let them do what they want to do. They're not forcing you to do something. They're not forcing you to think a certain way or act a certain way. They're just sharing what's on their hearts and minds. I don't know. Do you have any kind of comments along this or any thoughts? Or are you just going to nose wheeze at us?
Like
yeah, you're going to try to do it on purpose.
no, So my whole thing is, we're gonna talk about stuff, and if anyone knows me, they know that I will get off track, and I will talk about other things. Uh, but as far as people complaining, um, I mean, you guys can complain,
I'm
but
not just talking about us. I'm talking about other podcasts in particular.
right, right, right. I'm saying like
And they're getting really vile. They're great.
like
Our guys aren't very vile.
like, and I'm not trying to target our complainers or our critiquers. I'm
Sure.
just saying y'all can complain all you want, but at the end of the day, you know, a podcast is still at least on average, the average podcast is still two or more people talking about what is on their mind. Things will get distracted, things will go off course, and sometimes you just have to grin and bear it, or you can just skip forward. Unless you're driving and listening to a podcast, there's nothing that's really stopping you from scrolling.
Time to catch up. God, I hope it does. Because I heard, unless you're driving, there's nothing really stopping you. And I'm assuming you're going to say jumping ahead.
Yeah, well, I said scrolling, but yeah, jumping ahead, whichever.
Yeah. For me, I think, again, like I said, I say whatever it is that you have to say. By you, I mean the listeners, Travis, myself, etc. Like and you're allowed to say whatever you want to. Like right now, I know we haven't talked about it, and I'm glad we haven't because Travis and I have diametrically opposed points of view here. But I'm gonna put this out here and open a can of worms and try to keep it to a couple of minutes. But the protesting of the Dakota pipeline right now, Travis is adamantly against the pipeline. He's it's close to him. He it's going to affect him in numerous ways, um, and he has a lot of legitimate reasons for being opposed to it. Me, of the protesters, lost all sympathy I had day one when I got to see some live coverage from a local news station where the protesters attacked the guards, including that had a dog, and they literally charged her and attacked her, and her dog defended them. And this was on live stream because I don't think it was on live television, but it was on a live stream that I was catching 100% as it was happening. And then 20 minutes later, and then for a week afterwards, you saw the video clip of two people that charged this woman in complete and total standing on her side of the damn fence, attacked her, and then proceeded to lie about how she picked up her dog and threw the dog across the fence to attack them. The fact that I'm allowed to say that, is allowed to sit here and tell me how wrong I am and they need to stop this pipeline. Say these things, and whether you're going to talk up or down a political opponent, same thing. You should be able to do this. And again, if you don't like it, appreciate you listening to the parts of the show you do like, and you're welcome to send us inputs on the parts of the show that you don't, as well as the parts of the show that you do, and we will read them and take them under consideration. But we're not going to not talk about stuff that's close to us and that's on our mind. Did I sum it all up for us? I can't tell if you're lagging or if you're just staring at me.
Lagging.
Okay.
So I think I just lost you in that last sentence.
All right. Okay. Basically, I just said that you're welcome to contribute to the show however you want.
Right, got that.
And we'll take all that under consideration. But at the end of the day, as long as we still have the First Amendment, you are still allowed to communicate and talk with us however you want and say the shit that's important to you. Please listen to the parts you like, skip the parts you don't, complain about it.
We don't talk about titties enough.
That's
So
true.
with that being
I have
said,
a big titty.
with that being said, uh, I feel like I want to play test more with Thing in the Ice.
Yeah, because those are great, great
Right? And
titties.
you can have four of those titties in your deck.
I like where your head. Mailbag notes. Speaking of titties, giant mailbags this week. Um, Nathan tried to send us a deck list this last week. Why it's not coming up, but it's not coming up. I don't think there's something right in the link. However, he also sent us a link to NTG Goldfish's Frontiers decks. And my 15 minutes of skimming them look like standard decks from the last year and a half, which is exactly what the Frontier format is, basically. The
Yeah.
powerhouse standard cards getting the ability to stick around, which is part of the reason I really like it. Because for me, sometimes a year or even 2 years is not enough for a standard card, but they just can't make it in a format like Modern. I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see if this takes off. I'm tempted to an impromptu tournament. Not even something like a win-a-box or anything like that, or maybe I should try a win-a-box actually. But just something unofficial to see if people will put it together. Same thing with Pauper. I think these are formats that in our area currently don't have enough traction, but I would like to experiment with them and see if they would. Have you heard anything else about the Frontier? Because it's all over my Magic feeds this week.
Uh, Nobody here locally is talking about Frontier, so I haven't been paying much attention.
Okay. So when I say that, I mean people in my Magic Twitter feed, my Magic Facebook feeds. They seem to be talking about it. Do you
Uh,
even pay attention to any of that stuff?
no.
Good man.
Basically, I
Also,
get on
Joe,
Twitter to talk to the guys that I work with, and every
make
now and
wildly
then,
inappropriate statements.
huh? Yeah, make inappropriate statements.
Make
And then every now and
wildly
then
inappropriate statements.
talk to, or at least message or tweet at Cedric Phillips and Saffron Olive. That's about it.
Okay. Sounds good. I do keep an eye on that stuff, and like I said, it seems to be getting the traction in the right places, which means, like everything else works, here in Kansas, we'll hit it just as it dies every place else.
Right. Just like with tiny leaders and
Right, exactly. So hopefully this will be a format that gets picked up by Wizards, at least to some degree or another, and continues to go to work, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. And it would also bring a lot more life back to cards that just rotated. So it would could potentially affect, like right now you have that period of time right before things rotate out of standard that you sell everything out of that you're not playing, so you can get ready to buy into the next thing. And the people who are slow on the uptake buy those cards, and then, you know what I mean? Then they feel completely robbed in 6 months when everything rotates.
that's
I
their
think it would
issue.
keep those values, but I think it would help alleviate some of that life to some of these cards, and I think that's a good thing. Also in the mailbags, Joe showed up to Friday Night Magic. I think it was Friday Night Magic. Maybe it was the the standard showdown thing. I can't remember which. Yeah, I think it was the standard showdown thing. And he wanted to know if I got his email for sending in his link. And the answer is no. I don't know what you're doing, but it's pretty easy. It's the number 2 brew at gmail.com, and I put a link in the show notes at the website samusgarobo.com. Or if you're
Every
watching,
week.
it's in the description. Okay. So send us Twitch or visit us at Twitch, Samus Grobo. You can hit Turtle Power 319, the number 319, and my Twitter is Samus Grobo. I don't tweet as much Magic. I basically tweet now when I go live on Twitch. But I do a little bit of Magic stuff out there, and as soon as I figure out my Pauper deck and make sure the mana base is right and it's working right, I'll start streaming the Pauper plays. You were trying to say something.
Probably.
I love how distracted. I love how I can just like talk right the hell over you, and then I come back to be like, "Hey, so what was that thought that you were obviously trying to get out?" And you're just like,
it's gone.
"No, no, you successfully murdered it. Successfully murdered it right there." So this week's stream, we're going to do, what do we call this thing? Where we look up the Twitter hashtags. Did I have a funky name for this? Well, F it. We're going to call this hashtag. And right now, as we're streaming this show live, the trending hashtags that I think I want to do is calm me down in 3 words. So, Travis, I'm upset. I'm angry. What are the 3 words that you use to calm me down?
Want some pie? Want some pie?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. You're upset, and I want to calm you down.
Nah. Here's some ice cream. No.
Oh, here's some ice cream. That's good. Free ice cream, bro.
Oh, hell yeah.
So here's a couple.
I don't care what the temperature is. I will always get ice cream.
I know. We're fatties.
It's not that I'm like I don't care that I'm fat. It's just I love ice cream. I loved it when I was thin. I love it now. I love it when it's 12 degrees outside.
I like ice cream too, but I gotta try losing some man titties here. So let me just read off a couple of these, and you score them thumbs up, thumbs down.
Okay.
Right, on how good they are. Chocolate chip cookies.
Thumbs up.
Pour that whiskey.
I just lagged.
Pour that whiskey.
Huh?
Pour that whiskey. Pour that whiskey.
Whiskey? When I'm drinking, yeah. When I'm sober, meh.
Made snickerdoodles. Yum.
No.
Goats.
It's not something I'd like search for.
You got this.
Yeah, dude, you got this. We believe in you.
Puff puff pass.
Back in the day, yeah. By the way, I'm going to the Puff Puff Pass tour the Monday following the GP.
Oh,
Snoop
no.
Dogg's in town. Gonna go see him.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, let's make up one more Magic related, if we can. 3 words to calm yourself down. What 3 words, if you're tilting at the GP, that you would say to calm yourself down?
Give me mana.
Okay.
Or
you know what I think mana. I would say? I would take a deep breath, and I'd say, troll on, motherfucker.
True. Before we leave, I want to.
Damn it!
I want to talk about something else that is also kind of serious.
That was perfect. All right, hit me. What do you got?
So And it just kind of hit me more today than anything because of an incident that happened last night. And as the holidays are here, things can be more stressful. And one of my friends, her little brother attempted suicide. And yeah, it's just something that kind of hits home for me because I've had friends who have committed suicide and I have family that have. And really, if you need to talk to someone, there's always going to be someone out there to help you. So you should always try and talk it out with someone before you actually attempt anything.
Yeah, I would agree. Um, this is where my political libertarianness comes in a little bit, and where I say once you've explored all your options and you have a legitimately good reason to commit suicide, the fact that no one likes you, or you're fat and you can't get in shape or whatever, like my grandfather, when he was having his brain tumor issues, he was 24-hour pure unadulterated pain. The only thing he knew was pain, because it was affecting his long term memory. So he basically couldn't form a memory that was long term, and literally, so all he had in his mind was pain, 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 pain. And I can understand that because I have, as you know, chronic migraines, where there are days when I wake up and I could think, man, I could eat a bullet today, or man, I could get my whole head in front of this shotgun. My whole world is nothing but pain. But I uh, push that shit aside, and I get up in front of this computer and I stream and I talk to people, and it makes me feel better, and I figure out ways to get past it. And for me, every single day, it is my wife and son that keep me from getting my whole head in front of that shotgun. It's all pain. And when I hear people say things like, "Oh, for whatever reason," I said, "Was it a good reason?" Because if it's something about just how your emotions, you can usually talk that kind of stuff out. But like if you've gone to the doctor for 3 years and you're just living with 24/7 pain at the top of your scale, I can understand, I can relate to that, and I can understand a case for wanting to end that pain and that suffering. Um, Stuff, and I'm not saying emotional stuff isn't also strenuous, but lived through some pretty terrible shit. And I'm not going to say get over it, but you can push right through that stuff, and you can get there, and you can go to work, and you can do stuff that you find to be entertaining, and you can find reasons to go on. And I highly recommend that you really, really try. Um, but yeah, if you're going to off yourself for that kind of stuff, talk to Travis. He's really good at. He told me go down the track, not across the track.
Troll on.
Troll on, everyone.